Thursday, March 2nd, 2023. What's going on, guys? Brandon here. We have your market update today, and boy, oh boy, are things popping off. We are almost 4.1% here on the 10-year. So we've been talking about this. Look at this trend over the last, what is this called? This last month. So last handful of weeks, last month, this just rocket ship upward, pump style, rocket ship, get on board, 10-year treasury going off. Well, they're selling off. It's not going off. 10-year treasury is selling off. Yields are spiking. It is getting real spicy in here, real saucy. The yield in the 10-year treasury note, seen as a proxy for global borrowing costs, thanks trading economics, topped 4%, approaching an over 14-year high that we hit here in October, as you can see. 4.3%. I think it was above that. It might have been intraday got above that. Reached in October as a batch of hot economic data strengthened expectations the Fed will keep hiking rates and tight labor market, blah, 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 and a couple more 25 basis point hikes up to 5.5% in June, by June. So what's going on here? Is it the market calling the Fed's bluff? There are things breaking. There are things snapping. It's like a T-Rex going through the forest and just snapping all of the trees over like they're little twigs, like they're little toys. This is the world that we're in. It's going to keep seeing these gyrations. Bonds aren't supposed to look like this, guys. Again, this is stocks don't even generally look like this. The crazy, even on bad data. I mean, heck, we've got bad data is good data. We got bankruptcies going on, and I don't even forget the companies now with AMC or Avis or whatever the company was a year ago. And I think one just happened recently too, where the companies like went bankrupt and people are just like pouring into it. Like the company's bankrupt and people are buying it hand over fist. I mean, we're in an absolute clown world, but that's what happens when you break the money. When you break the money, you break the currency, I should say, because it's not money anymore. You took the money out of it, took the gold and silver, because again, there has to be value there. Pieces of paper are nothing. Again, we are going to beat this into everyone's head, come hell or high water. I can guarantee you that, because this is a problem that most people don't understand. When you're playing in the fiat world, you're just playing with Monopoly money. So at some point, the music stops and you're left with a bunch of Monopoly tickets and they're not redeemable. Just FYI, newsflash. So the government only says they're redeemable right now. Well, they say they are. And then the public, because the public still has confidence in those Monopoly tickets, that's the only reason they're redeemable. But even go try right now. The Ponzi is such a Ponzi scheme. Go try it right now to go redeem 10,000 of those tickets from your bank right now, or 5,000. Just go try. They'll look at you cross-eyed and like, do you have an appointment? And like, no, that's my cash. You need an appointment. That's because it's not your cash. That's why the system's breaking. The dollar is dead. You're going to see these gyrations in this market going crazier and crazier and crazier because the system's broken. It's a Ponzi collapsing in on itself. And as Max Geiser told us, you can't taper a Ponzi. So what's happening in the rest of the world? What's the Forex doing? Oh, what do you know? The DXY is up at over 105 because, of course, bonds are selling off. People are jumping into cash. So the dollar milkshake theory, Brent Johnson says, is strengthening, and the dollar is sucking up liquidity from everything around the world. This is why you see like these are the things inside of the basket. I forget like the 5, 6, 7 currencies that are in there, but these are like the 4 or 5 that are in this currency or in the basket. So look, they're all down against the dollar, which is up. So they're all getting sucked out of those currencies or other assets into the dollar. So they're you can't say they're technically inverse of each other, but in a way they are. In certain ways they are. So the stock market again is down just a tad across the board. The Dow looks like it's up a little bit. Bitcoin down 1%, and crude oil up a bit, and gold and silver down as well. Because again, when the yields go up, gold and silver usually sell off. These liquidity markers, gold, silver, Bitcoin, get tagged. At least right now, Bitcoin's been decoupling, but they get tagged a little bit. These liquidity indicators that show us what's actually going on because the 10-year down here is selling off. So the yields go up. So people tend to like, whoa, I'm getting out of these assets, and they just park in treasuries. So this is let's zoom out a little bit again. Like, let's see what's going on here. So look at this downtrend. I mean, we've showed this before, but look at this trend. You've got this trend, this channel, and boy, have we broken out, right? We have absolutely broken out of this trend. So even if you draw this from a couple different ways, a couple different channels here, we are, no matter how you look at it, we have broken out of this trend line massively. And how do you get that back in the bag? They're going to have to suppress this by buying up. The Fed's going to have to come in here and buy all the debt. eventually. Probably buy stocks, probably buy real estate. You'll own nothing and be happy. This is how this end game plays out. We've been talking about this for years. I've been talking about this for 10, 15 years, 20 years. I just haven't been writing about it. I haven't been doing interviews about it that the last 20 years, partly because I was a kid, a middle schooler and a high schooler. I should have been blogging that entire time. But we've been talking about this forever. This is the end game, and this is what they want. The Great Narrative, COVID, the Great Reset, Great Narrative by Klaus Schwab. Read these books. Check this book out as well. The Conspirator's Hierarchy. Now you can actually see these in real time. These are the books. And I have Tragedy and Hope somewhere. I mean, these books tell the future. Creature from Jekyll Island. If you check these out and see what's actually going on in the world, then things will start to make sense. You're going to put the correct lenses on. Because most people are right now, they're sitting in the back of the class like they're in third grade, and they're trying to look at the board and see what the teacher's writing on the board. But they can't see it because they don't have their glasses on, or they don't have the right glasses on. So it's all blurry. And most people have no idea what's going on. I just heard a story from one of my buddies, Mike Hobart, on Spaces here, saying that he's got a friend in the central banking community and just said, hey, Mike, I just realized today that all the government financing, all of it is just accounting. All the government debt, everything is just accounting, just accounting gimmicks. It's like, you're a PhD in economics and you didn't know that until now, 2023? Boy, oh boy. This is a clown world we live in. This is going to continue happening. Oil commodities are going to continue rising over time here because there's really a general depletion of these reserves, whether it's man-made or not, but there is. So these commodities are going to rise over time because they're actual things that everything else gets derived from. The dollar is going to continue strengthening long term. We're not saying next week or next month or things like that, but the dollar is going to continue strengthening because everything else, all these other nations are going to continue collapsing. America will probably be last because it's the Triffin dilemma. We have the world reserve currency. Not saying that America shouldn't be the first to collapse, but they'll probably be the last, just the way the dominoes have been stacked up and set up. And the treasuries, are going to be rising. And they're going to have to try to press these back down by buying up all the debt. And who's going to be doing it? China's not doing it. Russia's not doing it. They said, we don't want to do it. We're not doing it. So who's going to do it? Well, it's going to be the Federal Reserve. They're going to be buying it all up and pushing these rates back down. So at some point when the credit freezes, the gas stops coming out of the pumps, credit cards freeze, then the Fed is going to be on overdrive, hyperdrive doing this. And this is why the Ukraine war, this is one of the reasons they're pumping this up so much. We need false flags. We need things going on that give an excuse to go print massive amounts of currency, period. And Bitcoin down a little bit right now, but this is going to decouple because this is the only safe haven asset, really, truly, at the end of the day. You can make an argument for gold and silver. It's hard to make an argument for other commodities just because, wheat, what are you going to carry a bushel of wheat with you? Soybeans, you're going to carry, uranium with you? You can't really, right? Gold and silver is the easiest. That's why for thousands of years it's been money. Bitcoin will take hold. Unless there's, again, asteroid takes us all out or something like that, and every electrical unit has been fried on the face of the planet. Again, possible. Not likely, but possible. This is why Bitcoin will take over because it is pristine digital collateral. It is digital gold times 1,000. It is the new system that's being ushered in. Whether governments or central banks want to admit it or not, or going to tell you that or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they think. Money doesn't come from the governments, right? We've been talking about this for a while now. Rights don't come from government. Money doesn't come from government. Money comes from people, and the issuance comes from people. Really, that's the nature. And rights come from God. So money comes from bottom up. God comes from top down. Government's in the middle there, and they think they're the ones that run it all. Wrong answer. So this is what we have to keep looking at. This is the thing that's going to break everything, and this is what's going to freeze things up. These will cause credit events. We get to 4.3%, 4.5%. We get to 5% 10-year. Things are going to be breaking all over the world. We're going to be central banks collapsing, countries collapsing. So watch out for this. This is going to be the real pivot, the real pivot. Not just like, oh, hey, we kind of pivoted and we have global liquidity, positive liquidity over the last few months. This is going to be the real thing. Like people are getting stimmy checks, banks are getting stimmy checks. This is what to look out for. So in saying that, what's the positivity in all this? Because we know, again, here's it is, complete debt disaster. This is absolutely what's going on left, right, front, and center. This is what's going to continue going up. This is going to be 1 trillion interest on the debt, 1.5 trillion soon, probably going to be 2 trillion, 5 trillion in the next decade or so. The national debt's going to go to 100 trillion. I would not be surprised in the next 10 or 20 years that we're seeing quadrillions. I just would not be surprised at all. I mean, shoot, we're already a third of the way to 100 trillion. So when you're dealing with fugazis, with monopoly tickets, you can do anything you want. You can type anything you want on the computer and steal the wealth from all the people. That's why we Bitcoin. gold, silver, food, energy, water, security, firearms, ammo, land, all tangible things, actual energy, actual value, and we build community. We build a community of like-minded people, period. End of the day. That is it. Because this is what happens, again, to the dollar. You print more of it, and it gets destroyed by valuable assets. This is Bitcoin destroying the dollar. Just absolutely destroyed. So let's get with the program, and let's see what Bitcoin's running really quickly. See if Bitcoin's running. Yes. Beautiful. Blocks are moving. The miners are working. Just a minute ago, a block came in. Beautiful. A bunch of blocks came in just in the last couple minutes. So this is beautiful stuff. Let's look at time chain calendar and see what the average time is right now. 9 minutes, 54 seconds. Wow, we got more miners coming online, trying to battle in. Hash rate's way up. The highest hash rate, breaking records. So the fundamentals of Bitcoin have never been higher. This is why we have Bitcoin decoupling, really, at the end of the day. This is why it's at 24,000, 25,000 over the last couple of weeks, because it's been decoupling from all the chaos that's been going on. So let's get prepared. I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. I appreciate your time and energy. It's the most important asset we have. So I appreciate you coming here and spending with me, with us together. And time is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is time. The only fair, finite, equal trade with each other is not financial advice. It's freedom advice. We're done putting Band-Aids on bullet holes. We are done. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Please share this out. The algorithm hates truth. It hates reality. It hates moxie, hates confidence. It hates it. So the only chance we have to spread the word and create a better future for ourselves faster is by spreading the word within the community of people, of like-minded people who are growing with truth, first principles, nature's law. Appreciate you. See you in the next one.